York City says it costs $388 per night to care for each migrant household. That's just for food and shelter. New York Congressman Mike Lawler joins me now. $388 per household per day. Are these migrant costs going to break the city?
Well, as Eric Adams has said himself, the migrant crisis is destroying New York City. When you look at the fact that they are paying $388 a day to house and feed migrants in the city, and you're talking about nearly 200,000 migrants that have come to New York in the last 2 years, as Joe Biden's border crisis has exploded. This is a crisis for New York City, and the governor is proposing to cut state school aid to support public school students in New York State, to provide New York City with $2.4 billion of taxpayer money to deal with this migrant crisis. And it's really outrageous when you look at what's going on.
You represent Westchester and Rockland counties, they're New York City suburbs. Are you seeing migrants in your district?
Well, of course. I mean, look, we have a large immigrant community across the state, and including in my district. But obviously, we've seen a massive influx of migrants over the last few years. One school district in my district took in 1,000 migrant students at once. And so this has been a major challenge. This is why I've been talking about this issue for a long time now, pushing back against this administration, against Governor Hochul, and against Mayor Adams. It's also why I introduced the Defending Borders, Defending Democracies Act to help secure our border and reinstate Remain in Mexico and Title 42 as the policy of the United States, and just yesterday signed a discharge petition to get that on the floor for a vote. Stuart, we have to secure our border. We have to stop this massive influx of migrants, and it needs to happen now.
I'm concerned about people who visit New York, foreigners and domestic tourists alike. When they go into the subways, they see heavily armed National Guardsmen patrolling. And that just ruins the image of this city. What say you?
Well, Governor Hochul, rather than actually reverse the disastrous policies like cashless bail, decides that she's going to send armed National Guardsmen into the subway system, rather than supporting law enforcement by enacting policies that work and giving them the resources and the tools they need to do their jobs. And so this is obviously a reaction by the governor. I think it has been widely panned because it doesn't actually do anything to make New York safer. And in fact, to your point, leaves a lot of people questioning why they would even want to go into the subway system. The same subway system that is short billions of dollars because ridership is down, people jump the turnstiles, they lose $700 million a year on people jumping the turnstiles. People don't feel safe, and that's part of the challenge here.
But the trouble is, nothing changes, does it? Nothing changes. The flow just keeps on coming.
Not when you have policies enacted by radical progressive socialists like we see in New York. And I'll tell you another thing, Stuart, you just mentioned housing costs before. According to the National Association of Realtors, the average mortgage cost has increased by $1,000 a month in Rockland and Westchester counties, where I represent, over the last year. That's over $10,000 a year more for the cost of a mortgage. It is totally unsustainable, and it's why people are fleeing New York in droves.
Bad news. Congressman, thank you very much for being with us this morning and highlighting what is a real problem in this city, in this state. Thank you, sir.